You know, when you peel these back, is anyone else fearful that the juice is going to get right in your eye and just like a... Oof, that would have been bad. All right. Hey everyone, Sidewalk Runner here, Sidey for short, and welcome to another episode of Food Friday. I hope you're staying safe and eating well. For those of you who lived in the eastern part of the United States between the early 90s and the early 2000s, you may remember a restaurant that always had peanuts on the floor, Roadhouse Grill. And if I brought back memories, well, I'm sad to say that unfortunately the restaurant's no longer with us, technically. Actually, the original franchise went out in bankruptcy in 2008, but in 2009, 3 former employees in one of the New York locations decided to keep the name and rebrand it Buffalo Roadhouse Grill, and is still operating to this day. For me, the go-to was always rattlesnake pasta, spicy, creamy, and always delicious. But today, we're going to be focusing on one of their signature appetizers, cheese wraps. Picture, if you will, an egg roll with cheese, 2 cheeses, diced jalapenos, and green onions, all deep fried in an oh-so-gooey layer. Mwah, love it. So let's hit the snooze on the chit-chat and let's get cooking. So the ingredients are simple, and most of them you can get in the produce section, starting with the big guy, egg roll wraps. Do not use wonton, they're a little too small, but egg roll wraps are pretty much what they use, so that's what we're using today. These are by Nasoya, whatever. You're also going to need some Monterey Jack cheese. I happen to get the brick, which is what I'd recommend. But when it comes to the cheddar, get any kind of yellow cheddar you want, sharp, mild, doesn't matter. I'm going to do it with slices, and you're going to see why in a second. Next thing you're going to need is some green onions. Just pick up a little bunch like this, no big deal. For heat, you can use any pepper you want, but the original recipe calls for jalapenos, which I got a few of them here. And with any hot pepper, do not touch your hands or eyes once you touch the pepper. I mean the insides. So here we got the green onions. Just gonna have simply chop these up. You can pretty much just dice them, if you will, into little rings. What we're looking here is just nice cuts. Nice cuts. Cool. Alrighty. Next step is going to be the most dangerous, the jalapeno peppers. When you're handling hot peppers, always make sure that if you touch the insides, just don't touch your nose or face or anything like that, because it will burn. I've been on the receiving end more than once. Just simply cut into it. The seeds are going to make it hotter, but we're not really going to look for the seeds today. What I'm looking for is just simply to dice up the pepper itself. And to cut it, there's a few ways to do it, but my best method is just to cut down the length here and crack it open. I'm already touching the pepper. I am scared. And the seeds are starting to fly. And there we go. See that guy? Just gotta take the membranes out in the middle. My method for peppers is usually hold on to it like this and then just strip it out. In this instance, smaller is better because you're gonna try to cram as much into the rolls as you can. Go to this size, you can also go a bit smaller. Razor thin. We're going razor thin here. And make it tightly wound. Yeah, these are a little bit smaller comparatively. If you want to compare the two, these are obviously a bit bigger, but smaller is better. It's just a matter of preference. And alrighty. And there we have our diced ingredients ready to go. Wash the board, because I've got jalapeno on my hands and on the board. And on the board. The cheese is the next thing to look at. We're going to be slicing the Monterey Jack into little pieces long ways like this so that they're going to be able to put on the egg roll. So we're going to be cutting it on the short edge like this. Probably going to do maybe about a good ½ an inch, I'd say. It would be a good target for it. Slice it down. That's going to make a lot of rolls. So the idea is we're going to have this egg roll on the bottom, then we're going to have a piece of cheese sitting in the middle of it with the green ingredients sitting on top of it. Smushed between the green is going to be another piece of the Monterey Jack, and then we're going to wrap it up in the cheddar cheese as best we can. So it kind of gives it a nice little blanket effect. Then we just wrap it up and we're good to go. So let's get into these guys. These are Nasoya egg rolls. If you find spring rolls, you can, but they're smaller. I wouldn't recommend them for this, especially because of how thick the cheese is. Dude, I'm getting hungry just thinking there's even recipes for egg rolls and pizza rolls. So yeah, essentially we're folding it the same way you would a burrito. So this first one, okay, so it looks like this one got cut for some reason. Okay, hey, I get a bonus little mini piece. I'll use that for something. So let's go ahead and get started on building this guy. And just a side note, I also have some egg wash here. It's just a beaten egg so that we're able to seal this egg roll wrapper. Now I have it down in front of me as a baseball diamond. Basically it's just the points are going towards me and out towards you in the camera. And first and foremost, we need to take our cheddar cheese and lay it down in the same fashion as the baseball diamond, followed by our one piece of Monterey Jack, and this one's going to be going across. We're going to be putting some jalapenos in here just to start with, just a little bit, maybe a couple more in there. Take some green onion here and kind of try to keep it on the top. Oh, see, making a mess already. Biggest thing is to make sure that it's inside the cheddar piece because we're going to be taking another piece of the Monterey Jack and topping it on up. And now for the big guy, now for the big troublemaker. We're gonna have to be wrapping this up. And this is gonna be a little bit tricky, but bear with me. So fold up the corners here, and then we're gonna take an additional piece of cheddar, put the other baseball diamond on top, and then wrap it up as best you can. And now for the fun part. Trying to wrap it up this way. So wrap it up to the top. Try to keep it as tightly packed as you can. Fold it, cross it over. And actually before that, we should probably put our egg wash. So put a little bit of your egg wash here, tamper it down. Take the other side, flap it as well. And now for the grand finale. Take some egg wash on the top. Maybe a little bit more just to make sure it sticks. And now just fold the insides and just roll it on over. Roll it on over. Look at that. And oh, isn't that just beautiful? All that cheesy goodness in there. Now we're going to make the rest of them. For right now, put this guy to the side. Because we're going to be chilling these guys for 30 minutes once we're done with this batch. But let's see if we can do it again. Let's see if we can do it quicker. Now that these guys are chilled down after 30 minutes, we're going to go ahead and start the frying process. I would say 350 is a good temperature to have it at, so I'm going to put mine at around medium heat, so at least that's what it works on mine. And you're looking for probably about 2 inches from the bottom. If you got to use the whole thing, go for it. To test that the fryer oil is ready, I have actually another one of these egg roll sheets, and we're just going to dip it in really quick and just look to see if it's bubbling. You can even hear it. It's ready to go. I'm going to do one at a time for the moment just to see how they fare, and then we'll go. If you don't want to get your hands too close to the fryer oil, just take your tongs and grab the egg roll and go ahead and just dip it on in. And they are done, and they are crispy and golden and beautiful. This, of course, being the non-green version, which doesn't have the jalapenos or the diced green onions inside. Now, you may notice that the Monterey Jack cheese did not fully melt. That was actually intentional on my part, because when I bite into it, I want the creaminess to come from the cheddar, and then the cheddar's going to melt the rest of the Monterey Jack once I bite into it. But your preference, if you want to cut it thinner, then that'll actually help out with the melting. Now, the question is, does it taste good? Oh, that is good. I gotta admit, I didn't get a lot of pepper on this one. This one's loaded. For those of you who are worried about the jalapeno peppers being a bit too spicy because they weren't blanched, fear not, I can barely taste any spice. All it gets the flavor from the jalapenos themselves. So these are solid. I love those. I actually do like the fact that the Monterey Jack wasn't fully melted yet. The cheddar cheese is helping it be really soft, but not fully melted to where it's, just drooping out. That's not what I was aiming for. And if anything, at the end of the day, it all did actually melt, So again, if you want to slice the Monterey Jack a little thinner, that might help with melting, but I don't think it needs it. The inside's incredibly soft. The outside's actually really flaky and crispy. I like it. And it was actually wrapped pretty perfectly. Bear in mind, however, that when I was actually frying it, some of the cheese did escape and it started having really heavy popping sounds. That's okay, just as long as you're able to get as much of the outside, evenly browned as you possibly can. If the grilled cheese stuffed burrito from Taco Bell had a partner in crime, this guy would be it. It's crispy on the outside, gooey on the inside, it's got a little bit of a pepper kick, not too crazy. It's just overall amazing. I'm giving this guy a 5 out of 5 deadlifting Pikachus. Yeah, I'm just gonna go eat the rest of these. So thank you everyone for coming along on this Food Friday adventure with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment down below if there's other recipes from restaurants you'd like me to try. And until we eat again, have a happy Food Friday. Keep on running.